Hey everyone, this is Ray Ward Jr., and I'm here to tell you about some of the educational opportunities I've learned about on social media and blogs and things like that. I didn't know that there was this type of information out there, such a wealth of knowledge dealing with education. And I'm here to just let you know a few things that I think are the most valuable, especially for me in my classroom and special education, something new that I'm dealing with this year. This is also my first attempt at a jump cut video. Let's go ahead and get it started. So Twitter, Pinterest, and blogs. I really didn't think that there was information out there like this. First off, let's start off with Twitter. All right, so Twitter. I actually had a Twitter in college, and I got off because I just felt there's a lot of um, pop culture, and that's all it was about. But I quickly learned that Twitter is really about who you follow. And so if you follow people that are giving out valuable information, you'll be able to access that valuable information, not just pop culture, celebrity lives, or what's going on campus, things like that. So first, I figured out that Twitter was just a useful tool as far as hearing about new articles, about ways to utilize strategies within the classroom, and different, let's say, applications that come out, and just different ideas from a lot of people all across the world. And it's a really easy access because when you're following someone and they post it, and all their posts are about education specifically, you can take that information, you can utilize it however you see fit. You can make your own modifications to it. You can do what you need to do to make their idea work for your classroom. And so Twitter was a very surprising social media tool that could be used for education. Next is Pinterest. Pinterest, I've used Pinterest for DIY tutorials and things like that. How can I make my own this, and how can I do this without the assistance of a handyman or whatever? And so it really just a place I went for ideas. Ironically, so I was using it for its its intended purpose. But although I was using it for its intended purpose, I realized that once again, depending on who you can follow or whose page you go to and what you pin to your page and what you want to remember, you can actually follow someone that posts about educational things, ways to make activities more differentiated, ways to make activities more entertaining, not entertaining, let's say engaging, and and you can take those ideas and once again add your own little twist to them. And so Pinterest is a place where you can go for ideas, like you're specifically going to get ideas about something. Twitter can just be a little information or motivation, but Pinterest itself is like a think tank, and the think tank could be tailored to whatever you want it to be tailored to, and that includes education. And so Pinterest is another tool that was surprising, but when I thought about it, I understood why. Why it was so useful. And finally, webinars. Um, this is something that I've done with professional development in my district. It's a way to get information to people really fast. Let's say if you have a quick message, let's say an hour meeting, you don't have to get people to drive somewhere. You don't have to put on a presentation, but you can actually pre-record the presentation and send it out and allow them to view the information just as they would have had they driven out and seen you presenting it. And so webinars are a more efficient way to get information out. The thing about webinars, as far as I didn't understand how many webinars were available for education. I didn't understand how many webinars could be pre-recorded and talk about the same topic. Let's say for a differentiated instruction. I know that's been, as far as my district goes, been beaten dead, differentiated instruction. But I can see webinars across the country that offer different insights for different types of students that I can use that are still beneficial to my classroom that may not have been covered with the trainings from my district. And so webinars are another interesting source as far as getting information and being able to utilize it in the classroom very quickly and very effectively. So my interest in education is very clear. Um, I know that I want to take educational technology and make it a staple in the classroom. And so my goal when I'm searching social media outlets, when I'm searching blogs, when I'm looking for webinars, When I'm on Pinterest, I'm looking for things for education or technology. Not to say that other things aren't useful, but my goal in education is different. My goal is to make education more effective through the use of education technology, and so that's why I'm pursuing the masters that I'm pursuing. That is why I'm pursuing the career that I'm pursuing, because I want to make it a staple in the classroom. So when I get into administration, I can take what I've learned about education technology and teach it myself as an administrator, and that's the goal. And so the things that I'm looking for, I plan on utilizing in the classroom are educational technology specific. I know there's other things that I'll see and I'll be tempted to use, and I actually may use if it's useful right now. But my goal overall is utilizing educational technology. So blogs talking about educational apps that can be used on phones, websites that can be used on computers, um, things for iPads. If we have an iPad dock that's available, iPad station that's available, anything dealing with educational technology, making it more efficient for the teacher, making it more effective for the student, making it more engaging for the student. That is my goal. And so when I'm looking through all these outlets, I'm looking for educational technology specifically. As far as professional development goes, I feel as though webinars may be the most valuable resource that I can use. I can attend a webinar and about something that I'm interested in and learn more information about it, about that item specifically. So I can take something that I've heard about, something that I think will be useful, and I could look at a webinar and see that it's not what I'm looking for. Or I can look at a webinar and see that's exactly what I need for my classroom. And so webinars are a way to get it across efficiently. Because I can find something on Twitter, but I have to do the research myself. I can find something on Pinterest, and I have to actually put it together myself. But webinars, they lay it out for you. Webinars lay it out for you. They tell you exactly how you should go about doing something. They give you the resources that you're going to need. They tell you how to gain those resources, and I feel like webinars will be the most valuable tool for me as far as taking education to technology and incorporating it in my classroom. The good thing about webinars is that they may not be content specific. They're not going to be area specific. They may not even be grade level specific. And so webinars are giving you a general idea of the tools that are available for you to use. And because of that, I feel like I can take it and I can modify it and tailor it to my classroom. And when I start providing educational technology for teachers that work in the schools that I'm administrator of, I want to be able to provide them with the information, enough general information to do the activity or use the tool effectively, but with enough room for them to modify it the way they see fit. Because not education can't be cookie cutter, because everyone has different personalities. Everybody is comfortable in a certain teaching style, just as our students have different personalities and they have different learning styles. I feel like we need to be able to modify things and fit it into our classroom, and it has to be different to some extent. Something that I've seen with teachers recently, especially with the incorporation of educational technology, is them trying to incorporate too many things at once, and they can overwhelm their students. They can impede education or the effectiveness of their teaching, and trying to incorporate too many things can be counterproductive to what they're really trying to accomplish. So they're trying to make the classroom more efficient and more effective when they're actually taking so much time explaining new items and and trying to learn new items that they take away from what they could actually be teaching the students had they not used the items in the first place. So with that being said, I think my goal in the classroom is to utilize a new tool no more than once a month. I'll say once a month, and give the kids time to utilize tools and get familiar with them. I said no more than once a month. That means that with 9 month school year, no more than 9 new items. But that's probably too much. So I say that I will make sure that we'll be able to utilize the tool successfully where they get the hang of it, and then we can use that throughout the year. It could be one thing a year, it could be two, three, four, five, but not to move on to a new item until they've gotten one down. And so let's say For instance, this year I'm adding clickers to my classroom for quizzes and tests, and that allows me to have data for their tests, easily come up with item analysis so that I can actually review what they've done, so I can give them feedback, and I can also reteach things that I feel like I did not teach well the first time, or that they did not quite understand. And so that's one item. Now, if I take that and I add that with adding iPad lessons and things like that, it may convolute everything that I'm trying to accomplish. And so I will start with the clickers, and once that's a procedure in the classroom and they understand how to do that, then I'll move forward. And so I say it's going to be a continual battle. I mean, every week we'll be using the clickers to make sure they get it down, and then after a month or two, if they have that down, then I'll incorporate a new tool. But my goal for the year is to make sure that my students are actually getting a more effective, more engaging education, not boring lessons, not boring lectures or anything like that, but something that they can utilize, and they can take their style of learning, and they can build on that as they go through high school. So this is specifically for my freshman teachers. I'm a freshman teacher. I feel like I have a very unique job, because the kids are in between the area of feeling as if they're grown and being children. And so um, I feel like what I would want to share with everyone is webinars are easy to share. That's why I would say there's going to be a tool that I'm going to use. Webinars are easy to share. They can be shared via an email. They can sign in. They can look at it. And so that makes it an easy tool to share with everyone. Or I can even record a lesson of mine and share it on YouTube and things like that, so they can see exactly what I'm doing. And so it allows my word to speak for itself, or the webinars that I do to speak for themselves. And it's also a way to understand exactly how to incorporate it in the classroom. I can even talk about my pitfalls. Hey, next time we're going to do it like this, or I feel like I messed up here, so you should watch out for that. And I can actually give them feedback on what they should look for when doing the lesson, or how they should start off doing the lesson, and things like that. So webinars are going to actually allow me to create my own webinars and give them to my colleagues, so that they can utilize it if they see fit in their classroom, and modify it in the way that fits their classroom and fits their students in the best way possible. And so that is my goal, and that's my way to share with others, especially as I'm pursuing this master's and trying to actually better the educational field. I can start right here in my school as a teacher, and then as I go into administrator, I can continue to help the school body grow. I can even take the same lessons that I did as a teacher and show them as examples within my professional development as an administrator. So that's how I want to share the information that I've learned through this process. So it'll be hard to show you how I've incorporated clickers over the last few weeks. Um, so I decided to show you another tool that I've done, and it's a way to stay in contact with students. I feel like something I haven't talked about so far, but parent involvement in the students' education is very important. And so I decided to create a remind. That's an app where I can send out messages to students. It keeps them safe because I don't have their phone numbers. It keeps me safe because I don't have their phone numbers. They don't have mine. And so I can remind them of everything they need to do, especially in a biology class where we have labs and they need to dress appropriately. They have to sign safety contracts. They have to make sure the interactive notebooks are intact. And I want to remind them and tell them what. Let's see if I can focus here. Uh-oh, that's my light. Turn this light off. Here we go. So right here it says, I don't know if you can see it. Says, Mr. Word, Biomolecule Lab tomorrow. Be sure to wear the proper attire and turn in safety contracts. I hope to see you all at open house. I'm reading it slow because it's backwards to me. So Remind is an app where I can actually keep in contact with students as well as parents. I had all my parents sign up for it. A lot of my parents sign up for it. And so it keeps them accountable. They can take it and they can do everything themselves. And if they don't, they still have the support of their parents, which is very important. And they know that I'm caring about them. I'm texting them, not every night. I don't want to blow their phones up, but I do want to let them know that, hey, I'm thinking about you as a teacher. And I want you all to be successful in this class. That's why I use Remind. That's just one tool that I'm going to use. I've been successful so far using it. Students have been receiving it. Some have been saying they haven't, but I looked at their phones and they have. So I feel like it's very successful. And this is one tool I incorporated. It was very simple to incorporate, so I'm going to move on to the next tool. And the next tool will be Emodo, so that I can remind them of, or I can give them access to their notes that they missed on days that they, let's say they're absent for something, then I can give them their notes. I can give them assignments when they lose papers, which freshmen tend to do. They lose papers and they can go and print it out from Emodo. So that's the next tool that I'm incorporating. And those are things that I've gotten from webinars, as I said before, from professional development. And I'm going to continue to build throughout the year. And of course, every year you start fresh with freshmen, but it'll be as the years progress and as I become a more experienced teacher, everything will be much easier for me to incorporate. And so that's the goal, is to become a experienced teacher and take that expertise and put it into higher levels of education as I get older and as I grow wiser as a teacher. So.